everyone, and welcome to another episode of the NAACP Chicago Westside Branch. I'm your host, Tara Levy, and tonight we have two wonderful people joining us in this conversation. First, we have Don Winston, and we have Kiana Beasley. So let's start with Don. Don Winston is a youth organizer from North Lawndale Community Coordinating Council. So he's going to talk to us a little bit more about that.
Good evening, everyone. So my name is Don, like Tara said. So I am the youth organizer of the North Lawndale Community Coordinating Council, where we've just put together our draft quality of life plan, which will be a comprehensive plan for the North Lawndale area, which will be a living document for about 15 or 20 years or so. We have 13 different subcommittees from infrastructure design, arts and culture, health and wellness. And through this plan, we are trying to find ways to implement and create civic engagement to improve quality of life in the North Lawndale area and to continue that throughout generations. So my charge as a youth organizer is getting youth together, organizing them, showing different opportunities, job opportunities, opportunities in the neighborhood, and pretty much anything that deals with youth. Also, I go around to different organizations and get them involved in different initiatives that we do for the comprehensive plan.
Nice. Thank you for joining us tonight, Don. So the theme for tonight's show is civic engagement. It's important that we are invested in our community in order to make a change. Oftentimes, we are reliant on community officials, people in office to make that change. But we as a people must first realize that we do have power, whether that be political power or engaging the community through volunteering, organizing our youth, things of that motions. And next we have Miss Kiana Beasley. Kiana is a member of Public Allies, a great organization making a whole bunch of great community leaders. Kiana, talk to us more about Public Allies and your experience.
Hi everyone, my name is Kiana Beasley. So I'm a Public Allies AmeriCorps member, and Public Allies is an AmeriCorps funded nonprofit that focuses on leadership development, specifically around diverse leadership. And so as a community organizer for the School of the Art Institute of Chicago, which is my placement, I work in the North Lawndale community, and specifically my job is to connect with community members and help build arts and culture programming to engage community. And what I think is best about the work that I do is that I'm focused always on leadership, I'm always focused on service, and I'm always focused on empowerment and sustainability and helping the community grow in a sustainable way.
Yeah, and Kiana and I actually met through Public Allies. I'm also a member, and I'm placed at Lincoln Limited Scholars. It's a nonprofit helping young Black kids get into great colleges and support them through and beyond college. Every Tuesday we meet for Public Allies for trainings, and that includes having us to be more mindful of our leadership and what areas we need to improve on. Public Allies is making a lot of great changes by uplifting and creating new leaders for our communities. So one thing that's stressed a lot in Public Allies is the importance of coming together as a community. Unity is a powerful thing, and we must first realize that yes, we are powerful, but together there's just a great force to be reckoned with. Through Public Allies, I was able to serve the beautiful community of North Lawndale. We created an urban farm. So people who don't know about North Lawndale, it's on the city's west side, and it's been faced with a lot of issues in the past, but it's on this era of being rebuilt, right? So having fresh produce available to the communities. North Lawndale has historically been a food desert. A lot of places on the city's west side are food deserts, meaning there are not a lot of fresh food available for our people in these communities. So again, that starts with just us as a group creating that change. We weren't there asking for elected officials to take action. We took action. We saw that there was an issue, that there was a need for a change, and we were a part of that change. Do you all want to talk about your involvement with North Lawndale and like how you created impacts personally?
Yeah. So I'll start because for Public Allies, specifically my role in building out the arts and culture programming, we offer several different things to the community. So one of the things that we do is offer public programs, and so we have free community classes for youth and adults. So if you're interested in learning about quilting, music, fashion, any wide range of topics, you can come in and we probably have a class for it, and you can learn some general skills and walk away with something really fun that you learned about. We also have degree classes, so the students that pay tuition dollars can take classes at Home and Square. So we're located in the old Sears Tower, which is currently called Nichols Tower, and there we offer free community classes, but also degree classes for students who pay tuition dollars for SAIC. So we have the community engagement aspect. We also have civic engagement through the school, bringing in professors and students. And we also do one-off events where we work with visiting artists and do different projects in the community. For example, one event that we have coming up this summer is called Westside Wednesdays, and that'll be running from July through September. And basically that is an idea that was collaborated on with AMFM Gallery, Sierra McKissick, who's the founder of AMFM Gallery, and also with SAIC at Home and Square. And we do performance and spoken word, and you come out and have barbecue, just enjoy some performances, perform yourself, just have a good time and engage with the community and have a safe space where people can have fun. So those are some of the things that I do on a daily basis, and helping with the administrative support of those things, but also being available to the community and building ideas with them.
Thank you, Kiana. Those Westside Wednesdays sound awesome. We'll definitely keep you posted about those events when they're coming up. And Don, you're from the Westside, so can you talk a little bit more about your experience during your upbringing, and then like as an adult, how you see Westside being on the North Lawndale, now being a community activist yourself?
Okay, so my upbringing on the West Side was very interesting. Just growing up in a neighborhood where you don't have the most resources available to you, like at hand, but there's a lot of great things happening on the West Side. For example, how I ended up in this role as a youth organizer was because I participated in an organization called Celestial Ministries Drumline. As a youth, music was my passion. They gave me a space to learn and to grow and use those skills to eventually earn a scholarship to go away to college. So once I got back from school, I was like, you know what? I wanted to give back to this organization. They did a lot for me. I had a lot of fun, kept me off the streets, out of trouble, had me doing something positive on a daily basis, every weekend performing, and getting a lot of different experiences that I wouldn't have had if I was just, maybe watching cartoons on Saturdays all day, eating chips, whatever. So those are like the type of opportunities that are available in North Lawndale. And now what I do is I actually help teach and perform with those kids on a regular basis now, and I like to support them in everything that they do. Even as my role as a youth organizer, I go around to different schools, talk to kids, mentor kids, just to be able to show them like there is positivity in this neighborhood. There are people that want to see you succeed. My fiscal agent of NAACP is an organization called New Covenant Community Development Corporation, where we're all about entrepreneurship, financial literacy. So I started off as an intern in this role, and now I'm able to go to different schools and teach different grade levels about financial literacy, starting their own business, and how that can help change their life. So that's what I continue to do in my role as today, yesterday, and what I'll continue to do even after I'm wherever I end up in life. I want to continue investing more into the community, because there's plenty of kids growing up not seeing the opportunities that are right in front of them because they just haven't been watered yet. The seed is there, we just have to water it.
Absolutely. I completely agree with that. And because you're so young and you're a Black positive young man, that's what a lot of our youth are missing, having that positive male role model present in their lives. And that's something that they can strive to achieve, especially our young Black men. I think seeing yourself in someone else, seeing that this is a possibility for you, that you're going to make it, that there's more to life than just the streets, right? There's a new way of living.
Definitely.
I think that's empowering, and we need more of that. Again, this is about civic engagement. How are you as a person going to be that change that you want to see? It starts with you. Yes, we want to hope that eventually the government will be more beneficial for Black people. Historically, it has not been. So we cannot wait for that. We cannot, hope on a prayer. We have to be the change. We have to take our own actions, our own means, and create positive changes. And we also have to look at the assets in our community, not just look at the deficits, because there are a lot of assets, as Don mentioned, there's a lot of assets. Let's build that. And those aren't an asset, those are some more deficits. Let's tune in on that too and see how can we solve it for ourselves. So I have a question for you all. Do you think that gentrification is always a negative thing? Do you see there's some positive qualities to gentrification? Holman Square, North Lawndale, it's been gentrified. A lot of the cities, South and West Sides, are being gentrified. And a lot of people are up in arms about oh, they're tearing down our communities. They're destroying our properties. But do you think that gentrification, there could be some pluses to it?
I'll answer to say, so over the summer, I worked at the Oak Park Regional Housing Center as an AmeriCorps Vista summer associate, and one of my service objectives was to do a gentrification trends report on Chicago in general, but specifically for communicating certain information to Westside residents about gentrification through the housing center. And so in that process and coming up with that report, I learned that gentrification is both a challenge and an opportunity, and that it's really about doing ethical redevelopment and not necessarily focusing on just development from a developer standpoint. People who are from outside of the community coming in and taking over, that is the displacement. That's when all of the negative aspects of gentrification come in. But when you have gentrification in hand with the community and you're building it, it can actually be very beneficial. And a lot of the times people hear the word gentrification and it sounds very negative and controversial. But a lot of the times the things that people want is gentrification. They want to have economic resources. They want to be able to have certain things in their community. And you don't want to push people out. We want to keep those people there and build with them and help empower them to stay in their community, but still make it sustainable and livable and integrated for everyone who wants to be a part of it.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of that, I do agree with some of the statements that you made. I think gentrification can be a great opportunity to learn from different cultures moving into the neighborhood, learn from different businesses coming to the neighborhood. How do we sustain and stay where we are and grow here? This could be an opportunity for us to learn different skills, different languages, different career paths, and different culture. And honestly, that's what, living is all about, learning. It's just an opportunity to learn. Now, the displacement is what I do not agree with, making it unaffordable for families to be able to keep the homes that they already own or moving renters out to another location. I do not agree with that, and I think that's very negative to a lot of families that don't have the proper resources to be able to sustain. But other than that, I do think that having a diverse neighborhood is great because you learn more about your community and the people that you surround yourself. So having different perspectives to bite from and eat from would be healthy for you.
Thank you both for sharing your opinions on that. Also, viewers, we encourage you to chime in and join the conversation. Call us now at 312-738-1060. Join the conversation again at 312-738-1060. It doesn't have to be on the idea of gentrification, whether it's a right or a wrong. Also, it could be hey, what are you feeling based on this conversation? What's something that you wanted to add to this? That's fine too. Another question I would say, because you're now working in North Lawndale, do you see a difference as someone who's an older person versus when you were younger?
Definitely. Growing up in North Lawndale, I just saw the streets and stores and corner stores, and you know, I didn't know that there was so much value in the neighborhood. I didn't know that the people in the neighborhood actually care. North Lawndale is a very semi-traditional neighborhood now that I'm able to work here and get to know some of like the elders that are living in the neighborhood now on a deeper level, and just to understand and have, I've grown so much more respect for them now just to be able to stay here and to give back and pour back continually for their entire life basically into the children and the youth of North Lawndale. It's amazing to see like a lot of the different executive directors and CEOs that actually care about the people of the community and not just doing it for money. That's one of the true values that I believe I like about North Lawndale, is that the people actually care about each other.
Nice. It looks like we have a caller. Hello, caller. Thanks for calling in.
Hi. How does gentrification affect the youth or students?
That's a great question. So the question was, how does gentrification affect the youth or students in the community? I can say personally, I'll be joining the North Lawndale community working at DRW. And currently, about 90% of the students in North Lawndale 90% of DRW, they're people who live in North Lawndale, so they're community-based schools. But a lot of schools throughout the city are experiencing mergers or closures, and they're forced to go into a new community, a new school that they're not familiar with. So that creates a lot of conflict, a lot of clashing because of this different cultural shock going on. So our kids are definitely impacted by this. And I think oftentimes when schools are merging, when gentrification is happening, and one community is being destroyed, this impacts our youth, and we're not mindful of that. And that creates school violence, that creates gang violence in the communities because they don't feel like they belong, they don't feel like they have a home anymore, especially when it comes to school closures. Do you all want to speak on that question too?
I feel like gentrification affects youth and like you said, I'm thinking and going towards how kids are interacting with each other, but I want to be mindful that it can be positive too, and that's why the Housing Center really wanted me to focus on the positive aspects of gentrification, because integration is diversity plus inclusion is great. Like you need the diversity, but you also need the inclusion. So you don't want to just have different people living together, but you want to do it in a community building way that people can actually benefit from each other and have a community and care about each other and learn and value each other. And so I do feel like even though it can be negative and if kids interact with each other and it can be a culture shock, it can also be a great learning experience, a time to build community and really connect with other people as well. So I do try to encourage students to be open-minded and be willing to learn from other cultures as well.
And I would just say, if it's going to impact the youth that are already there, that gives me the idea that the family was able to stay in that neighborhood. So just the fact that someone of a different ethnic background or status is moving into the neighborhood, that'd be a great opportunity to learn, and it's great that the family was able to stay there in the first place. And culture shock is a good thing. I think we all need to shock ourselves every now and then just to get out of the habit of being like, oh, this is my way of thinking and I'm going to stick to it. Sometimes you need to change your perspectives and look at it from a different lens, and you'll be able to go through different doors in life just because of that opportunity.
Yeah, so in the end, I think there are both pros and cons when it comes to gentrification, especially gentrification of our schools, and that the youth can see it as a new opportunity as well as they can be taken back by it too. I think that goes down to our roles as adults to help to introduce them to a different way of living, a different culture too, so there will be less conflict. But thank you, caller. We truly appreciate you chiming in. We still have a few more minutes left in the show, so you're welcome to call in, to ask a question, to dive into this conversation, we're open for that. Do you all have any questions or final thoughts that you want to share?
What inspires you to work and do the work that you're doing now?
Work like in NAACP or?
Yeah, like what do you do and why do you do it? And I'll leave it open-ended like that for you.
Such a cool question. So, by day, I work at a nonprofit in education, and I guess NAACP is like my night and weekend-based job, even though it doesn't pay, but I still love it. I'm passionate about Black people succeeding. My job is to help young Black scholars to get into good high schools so they can get into good colleges, so they can have great career paths. I'm passionate about helping people in our community. This is the NAACP Chicago Westside branch. So I'm passionate to help people on the Westside. So I was born in Oak Park. We're going to get to the story. I was born in Oak Park, but I went to school on the Westside for 12 years. All of my livelihood is in Chicago. So I still claim Chicago. Like, I claim the Westside. And I just want to see us make it. Simple as that. I want to see Black people not just survive, but thrive. And I think it's just too long for us to be here. We've been here for 400 plus years, whether it was against our will or not, but we've been here, and we're still at the bottom. And as a Black person, that hurts me. That hurts me because, yes, I don't represent every Black person in the world, but I'm connected in some sort of way. And I want to see us as being positive, as having these opportunities available. As Don mentioned before, have that exposure that we can be something else other than statistics. So I guess, like, that's what inspires me to answer your question. That was a great question. I think about that one. But yes, so we're going to wrap up pretty soon, but do you all have, like, any things you want to add or, like, any last-minute words of wisdom?
I just encourage everybody, like Tara was saying in the beginning, be the change that you wish to see in the world. I mean, you can sit here and wait for somebody to come along and do something for you, or you can take the first step and get it started yourself. So always, when you can, be a leader, take initiative, try to do what you can to help your community, to help your family, to help your school, whatever is important to you, find your passions and focus on that. That would be my last words of advice.
I would say keep pushing. There is no success without sacrifice.
Good. I like that. So before we end, I do want to highlight these two great upcoming community events that are happening next week. Next Friday, we have Enough is Enough Peace Now, a rally held at St. Sabina. It's 1210 West 78th Place. At the Faith Community of St. Sabina. We're encouraging all people to come out for this rally. Peace is needed in Chicago, especially that the summer is coming, and that's historically when a lot of the violence has sparked. We also encourage young people to come out. It's the annual end of the school year rally and peace march. So it's next Friday, June 15th at 7 p.m. Also, we have the Building Black Political Power Happy Hour next Wednesday at the Renaissance Bronzeville. The address is 4641 South King Drive in Chicago, Illinois. It's free. Both of these events are free and open to the public. It just asks that you register for this event. Again, it goes back to having political power as well. We need to be registered to vote. That's part of our access to gaining political power. You have to be registered to vote. And this event here actually will have people there to help you register to vote. So it's a win-win. Thank you both for being on the show. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. It's been a great time having a conversation with you all. And thank you, viewers, for watching. I hope you had a great start to the weekend and have a lovely rest of your weekend. Thank you.